Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the live stream session. Welcome, welcome. We have an interesting session ahead of us today. We're gonna bringing a different, I might show you how we can integrate the NeuroGraphic method within this one, but we're gonna do something different, something fun. Welcome, Laz. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to say hello. Welcome to write something in the chat. My name is Lana Shalom. For those of you who don't know me, I am a certified neurographic instructor and coach. For this specific purpose for today's session, I am a certified Bogoband specialist. I almost became an instructor, learned to become still hoping to be en route to become the instructor, the neurostructure instructor. It's not neurostructor, it's kind of more of a MetaModern approach, the instructor for the MetaModern approach, okay? I actually learned and the specialist student will understand me. I need to complete my certification, okay? So what I'm going to tell you today is absolutely fascinating, very interesting. We're going to give you more of a logical, understanding approach to what miracles are, to what wishing is, desire. How do we see desire from a more like maybe philosophical even approach? Again, making it more clear, making it more approachable for you. Hi, Denise. So nice to hear from you and so nice to see you here. Excellent. So glad to hear. Thank you for your appreciation. And I do appreciate you guys logging in and, giving me your attention, hearing what I have to say, and most importantly, start using everything I teach within your life. So very, very happy to hear that, okay? Now, I am live on YouTube now, and I am live on Instagram. Okay, just wanted to let you know. Those of you, I didn't put it on Facebook. I need to find somebody who will be posting it on Facebook, because when I go live, I don't want to take the time away from the live sessions to post it on Facebook, okay? But let's do this, okay? Let's start. I'm going to talk to you about something called the MetaModern quadrants, okay? The word MetaModern probably, more than you think. If you using Instagram and Facebook, you definitely know the word MetaModern, because the word Meta, which is the company that owns Instagram and Facebook, is based on the word MetaModern. MetaModern is a philosophy that refers to the time that we live in. Okay, we don't just live in modern times, we live in meta-modern times. It's like modern times that has been amplified. We live in beyond modern times. We live in the time where things happen very quickly. It's meta, it's quick, it's rapid. And of course, it's transformational. It's, like instant transformation kind of time. And we can see that, right? We can easily connect with each other. I was listening to somebody recently saying, nobody has answering machines anymore, right? You guys remember if you watch any movies from even from 2000s, we used to have answering machines, right? Nobody have that. Nobody really, only professionals actually carry a real photo camera nowadays. And no, we don't even call photo camera. It's actually a camera for both. It does both. It does photo and video. It used to be, again, until the beginning of the 2000s, there would be two types of cameras, the photo camera and the video camera, right? Things have changed. Technology made things accessible much more than we ever even dreamed possible, right? I don't think we dreamed. There are a lot of jokes going around how I want AI to do my dishes and to clean my house and maybe cook my food. And in a way, when we talk about AI, if we refer to technology, it does. We have washing machines, which is huge. I love my washing machine, right? Some people own AI style refrigerators that tells you which food is absent from your regular food items in the refrigerator. So it's kind of creates a shopping list for you. That's AI, by the way, right? That's not just the fact that the refrigerator can perform certain technological possibility, but it's actual intelligence, artificial intelligence, right? And what else did I say? Cleaning the house. Okay, I have one of those iRobots. I hope you do. The one I just got recently, I got a new one this year. It actually washes the floor, which I love beyond, right? So it's interesting to start seeing all of this, right? No cooking yet, but you know what? I'm okay with that. I love cooking. So you probably have seen, if you follow me on Insta or Facebook, you see me posting various cooking adventures I have. I constantly do something new. There's something I cook I love to do, and there I always like to do something new. I love cooking. So I don't mind that one, but I know some of you will say, well, I would like to have a cooking robot. But the idea is technology has amplified everything, and we refer to that kind of this kind of generation, this kind of times, we refer to it as meta. Everything happening quickly, everything happening rapidly, everything amplifying itself. If there is some kind of, action, it happens amplified, right? We're not just calling somebody. The new feature on the iPhone, I know, I have it. It's if somebody calls me and it goes into answering machine, I still have a chance to answer that phone. Again, similar to what we used to have with an actual answering machine, right? If it goes, I said answering, if it goes to voicemail, it used to be that I couldn't do that. Like once it goes to voicemail, that's it. I can't answer that phone call anymore. Now they change it. I have a chance. It tells me recording message, which means if I press on it, I can still answer and talk to that person. It's very interesting, right? We used to do that. That's called screening your calls. If you remember with answering machine, back when we didn't have caller ID, right? And that's the idea. Everything is amplified. Everything is like few steps ahead. If you ever play chess and you know what I'm talking about in chess, when you play chess, you always think about anything and everything 3 steps ahead. It's a rule. You must think 3 steps ahead. The whole point of playing chess is strategy, thinking 3 steps ahead. Well, guess what? Everything we do now, technology-wise, thanks to technology, thanks to, of course, the involvement of technology with AI, right? This ability to take technology and connect it to the ability to intellectually understand what humans may do in the next 2, 3 steps. This is what we call meta-modern approach, okay? And that's what AI does. It kind of collected all the research, all the data about what humans tend to do, and they kind of figured out what would be our step number 2 after achieving this, step number 3, step number 4. Okay, you can see that when you go to any social media, the everybody joke about it, but we all know about the feed, right? The advertisement feed. If we talk about something with a friend, the advertisements start coming, right? Everybody joke about it. A friend of mine who's like, my age, I was born in the 70s, and she jokes, she's like, why am I getting all these ads about, adult diapers or retirement? It's too early for me, right? People joke about it, about how, and yesterday I heard a comedian joke that that he takes his friends' phones and he talks into it like the most random things, like the funniest thing, just so that his friends would get advertisement on that topic, right? And that's the idea. We're bombarded with all kind of technological advancement, artificial intelligence advancements about doing or achieving things in life. There's one thing we cannot get technological advancements is to form desires, to decide what we are wishing for. What is it that you want in life? What is it that you need in life? How do you desire for something? How does it happen? Yes, if you write the word desire, it will give you a lot of explanation on what the word represents, even if you write the word miracle or a wish, right? But there is not a lot of information about, like, how does it work? What is what I like to call, what is the algorithm, right? And that's why when I did my drawing on Sunday, I like to call that algorithm, what is the algorithm for a miracle? I am preparing a huge, amazing happiness course. And in the happiness course, it's all about, is there an algorithm for happiness? Okay. Can we achieve happiness? Is there some kind of research? Is there some kind of scientific approach to happiness? So I took courses from Harvard, I took course from Yale, I took a private course from somebody who's been in the field, right? And they all talk about the fact that yes, there is, based on research, based on, various ways people, they did research, they did questionnaires, they did scientific approaches to what happiness is, what it represents to people, how can people achieve. And you would think this is funny because happiness to me, at least, and before I took the course, was something, it's a fleeting emotion. How can you possibly achieve happiness? How could somebody be happy all the time? It's a fleeting emotion. Okay, it's not even an emotion, it's a feeling. Emotion is actual, our emotion, but feelings is an emotion connected to our mind. So happiness is a feeling. It has to be a combination of both emotion and the state of mind. We talked about the state of mind yesterday. Remember, as we talked about for 2 days, we'll be talking about the NeuroGraphic principles, and we use the word the state of mind a lot. And that's an interesting part. I'm going to give you something. I'm going to change my camera and I'm going to show you. I'm going to start introducing to you the idea on how to achieve, understand how to properly make a wish, how to connect your desires. Desires is something that we have innate. We cannot control our desires, but what we control is how we bring the desires to life. And of course, approach to the miracles. Miracles are hidden desires, hidden wishes that exists in our life, but we don't see it because it's hidden for a moment. But we definitely want to be able to approach it, right? Again, I'm going to change my camera so you can see my paper, and I'm going to start writing and showing to you various MetaModern approaches. MetaModern is a philosophy that I'm going to explain to you now. Let me change my camera. Okay. Okay, and Instagram, now you see my camera as well. Okay, this is the drawing from yesterday. We did it. I hope you completed it. If you happen to complete it, welcome to post it on social media. Welcome to tag me. I would love to see your drawing, okay? Let's do this. Let's start looking at the idea of desire, wish, and miracle, okay? So the idea, okay, let me write the word here. Desire, wish, can be wishes, okay? Miracles or miracle, or I like to say miracles. Why not do it in plural? Okay. Again, the idea of a metamodern approach is that you take any idea, any approach, any entity, any object, okay? Mostly this is philosophical, like thoughts, ideas, and you approach it from a point of view that the sequence of steps can be completed in 4 steps, okay? And in MetaModern quadrant, the way we approach the steps is clockwise, meaning the first step will always be here, not here. Most people think it's here. No, it's here. This is number 2, number 3, and number 4, okay? Series of 4 steps. They're sequential. There's the whole videos where I explain this in details. It's actually a whole, like, I'm going to say it again, the word algorithm, right? It's a sequence of steps, how it works, why it works. You can welcome to find, I have open videos called MetaModern philosophy or MetaModern quadrants. I think it's called MetaModern quadrants, okay? Oh, I realize I need to stop sharing. Okay. Okay, welcome to tell me this stuff, guys. Give me a second, let me write it down. Okay. Okay, let's do this, okay? So, we talked about the one of the major MetaModern quadrants we talked about. I'm going to show you a few quadrants, so how about we'll do this even, okay? Actually, no, let's do this. Remember we did fantasy, right? We talked about it in details a week ago. Fantasy, dream, okay? Plan and realization. I spoke about it in details. I discussed it. So I'm not going to go over it again. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a few other quadrants that we have, okay? And now what I'm going to do, okay, let's do it on a big scale. This is called will. Okay, in order to reach your wish, in order to reach your desire, one of the components, one of the elements necessary is called will. When you set a will, right? As part of my specialist NeuroGraphica course, now I do live coaching sessions with my students for them to learn how to use the NeuroGraphica method within the coaching component. Okay. And recently I worked with a student and she had a goal. And she said one of the major elements of her goal is to have a will, to have self-discipline, right? Because in order to reach any goal, you need to have self-discipline. But I'm going to use the word will here. But will is similar to self-discipline. It's not the same thing. We all know that different words, similar, even synonyms, may sound different, may mean the same thing to certain people, but it's never the same thing. They all have different ways, different connections, and different association within our mind. Okay. Discipline. Okay. So Pavel Piskaryov, the creator of this method, the MetaModern approach, says that in order to figure out, to create a will, in order to reach any goal, you need to have 4 components. One is interest. The first component, the first start with anything and everything will be interest. You create an interest. Everything starts with an interest. Remember how, just like we said, everything starts with a desire in the previous one, right? Everything starts with a fantasy, right? And we said desire here. Fantasy. Over here, we say everything starts with an interest. When you become interested in something, naturally, you create something we call desire. Okay? A desire is also similar to a wish. Okay? First, you become interested in something, but that's very faint. Then you become more sure of your interest in something specific, and that's a desire, that's a wish, that's a bit more concrete, right? Then we have intention. Okay, intention is in quadrant number 3. We start understanding that in order for us to reach this goal in reality, we need to set, remember, the word was plan, right? Intention is set with the word plan. And then, right, we reach something we call phenomenon. Phenomenon, okay, is similar to the word what? Miracle. Okay. Now, when you say the word miracle, it's more of a religious word, and phenomenon is more of a scientific word. Okay. People who are from scientific background, they will not say the word miracle. That's a way too religious word for them. It's like too mystical. But when they say the word phenomenon, that makes sense already. That's something that happens out of the ordinary, right? What would be another word? Extraordinary, right? Something out of the ordinary will be extraordinary. But even the word extraordinary is a bit too mystical. Phenomenon is a scientific approach. This is a scientific quadrant, okay? We say from a scientific point of view, first the person develops an interest in something. Then the person starts creating a wish. I would even say the word wish is more scientifically appropriate, right? It's more logical. It's more boundary. Then we create an intention or a plan, and then a phenomenon occurs. By occurs, the phenomenon, of course, they mean the realization of your goal, of your dream, okay? This is a very interesting. Now, pay attention. I'm going to give you a few quadrants here. Note, you can take notes. This video will be available, and you can rewatch it. You will start noting that one of the quadrants will catch your attention, your interest, more than any other. That means that quadrant kind of connects to you more, speaks more to your personal, individualized experience, has more associations for you, has more connections to your specific goals, okay? The next one, the next quadrant that will connect and we actually talked about it. We've been talking about it. We will continue talking about it. This is the backbone of what the NeuroGraphic method represents, okay? And it's a backbone of what we as humans are. This is called the human or individuality model, okay? The model of a human or an individuality, okay? And of course, this is going to sound familiar, but we're going to talk more and more about it. This represents the first quadrant is the connection of us as humans to our body. This is the reality. This is how we see the reality through the five senses, okay? Through the triggering of the environment, trigger from the environment, okay? This is our reality. In order to have anything done in reality, we work through the body. This is the first and foremost connection to how we are. Even the way we develop as humans, the first development the baby undergoes is a physical development. Body refers to the physical development, okay? The second step are our emotions, okay? Emotions. Emotions is the next step of development within the human lifespan. As humans, after the body development, we start developing something we call the euphoric body, okay? Emotions also known as euphoric body. Those of you, if you ever studied yoga or Taoism, Buddhism, right? Not necessarily in that. Any kind of mystical, even if you studied Kabbalistic study, they all talk about emotions as a euphoric body, okay? And that refers to the fact that emotions are closely connected to our body. We don't see our body, we can actually see. I can touch my body, right? It's actual, it's concrete. I can touch my fingers and feel the bones inside. I can touch the pen. I can touch the table. And I know the way it works, if you remember physics, right? It's depending on how close the molecules are to each other, something I touch will either be hard, if I'm touching the table, it's hard, or soft. Like if I'm touching the paper, it bends. The molecules are not so close together, so it's more bendable, right? Same thing here. We have something we call cartilage and the whole thing. I'm not doing a biology or anatomy class here, but this I want to bring, okay? We can touch our body. We can touch our skin specifically, right? The part of our body called the skin. Now, euphoric body or our emotions is actually something accessible as well. We don't necessarily see it, okay? Although some people may see it. They refer to it as aura, A-U-R-A, aura. Okay. Healing Art Sandy. I know you sent me a request to be in my live video. Can you connect to me after the video to explain to me what exactly does that mean? Because doesn't that mean you kind of leading with me? And that's not what I'm doing here. So basically, in order for me to understand and to answer that kind of request, can you let me know after the session what exactly that you're looking to achieve, so I understand why you're sending that request, okay, guys? Because sometimes people send that and I don't know how to respond. I am not an Instagram person, just FYI, okay, people? So sometimes if I don't answer some kind of request, it means I just don't know. But if you explain it to me, guys, I will be happy to allow you to be in the video, or if it's somehow allows you to view what I'm doing or something, I don't know. You let me know, okay? So the idea is that we have a connection, a physical connection to our euphoric body, to our emotions. How? By connecting to something we call the aura. Some people can see the aura, okay? I actually underwent a training where I was taught, it's a training. You can train yourself to see somebody's aura, okay? But very simple test. I want to show you something, okay? When I'm touching my body, this finger feels my body, and this hand, right? The surface of my skin can feel my finger touching it. Now, what if I'm doing something else? What if I'm taking my hands and look, the way I'm showing it to you, right? and I bring my hands together, I'm not touching. My hands are not touching each other. But do you know what? They feel each other. My husband, who is he's trained to be a quantum healer. He's very good in quantum healing. He calls it quantum energy, right? Those of you who ever learned, who knows what quantum healing, those of you who do Reiki, right? That's what Reiki is based upon. The fact that your hand or anywhere, our skin, anywhere on the surface of the skin, we have a specific energy. I don't necessarily have to touch my hand to feel the energy. This energy, this connection to the surface of the skin is called a euphoric body. This is our emotional body. This is what emotions represent if we try to explain it on a physical way, if it's possible at all. Because usually we refer to emotions, and I created a whole field because a lot of students, when I started doing NeuroGraphica as a coach, when I was doing a lot of coaching sessions as part of becoming an accredited trainer for the specialist course, I had to do 40 case studies, okay? Those of you who do the specialist course, you know what I'm talking about. You do 3 case studies. I had to do 40 case studies. So you can imagine the amount of sessions I had to do. And I noticed with few people when I asked them, what are your emotions? They couldn't answer me. They would say, I feel like I don't want to be here. Or I feel like I am not interested in this. Or I feel like this is not going to happen. And I would have to explain to those people that what you're referring to is actually step number 3. It's the mind. It's the thought. Okay? What you're referring to are thoughts. But what is or what are your emotions? They had a hard time. So I remember developing a whole system, figuring out how do I connect to the clients? How do I help the clients connect to their emotions? So of course I came up with, I found the wheel of emotions, and I remember even having a whole session just to help the clients discover their emotions. We did a whole training. I did the whole training with some of my students. Back then I had student live before 2020, this was. And I taught them that, you can take the wheel of emotions and use it on an everyday basis. And I specifically have one person, she's actually a good friend of mine, and she was amazed. She would call me every day and say, Lana, today I discovered the emotion of fear. I never knew that I had fear, but, I wasn't connecting to my emotions. So the great job about NeuroGraphic, the great job even about this, the MetaModern approach, the reflection process approach, is you develop your emotional IQ. I'm going to make a separate video about it, maybe even next week. It's a part in my plan, what I'm doing my live streams about. One live stream definitely will be increasing your emotional IQ. Okay. And I actually have an open video. You can search for it. You can do YouTube search Lana Shalom, Wheel of Emotions, where I do a whole session. I explain a lot about what is a wheel of emotions and how to use it and so on and so forth. Okay. So that's very, very interesting. So that's another part. Okay. So emotions. Okay. We have part number 1, we connect through anything to our wishes, to our desires, to our miracles through the body, through the emotions, through the mind. And of course, step number 4 is the soul. Okay, now, remember what we did on Sunday during the live stream drawing? We did the opposite. We connected to our desire, right? We connected first, we put the desire in the reality, then we worked through emotions, mind, and soul. Sometimes, for some people, okay, depends. Some people are naturally spiritual. They are connected to their soul much more than they're connected to the reality. So for them, their desire, their wish, their interest always starts at the soul level, okay? For some people, it's okay. This specific MetaModern quadrant works both ways, okay? Hey, Sharon, welcome, dear. It works going this way. It goes from the soul. You start feeling that you're connected, and we call that intuition, right? Those of you who are my students, I'm very big on reflection process. Your intuition, the last part of the reflection process is always, what is your intuition? What is your reflection? What do you feel? What's your insight? Our insight is connected to our soul. Our soul is connected to something we call as intuition. And by the way, even 10, 20 years ago, the word intuition was like the same word as the word mystical in the scientific world. Now intuition become more or less, I would say more or less, an acceptable world in the scientific world. So we can use the word intuition, right? Which is not to say that MetaModern, actually the MetaModern approach as well as the neurographic method are qualified to be considered as a scientific approach to, human development, to psychology, to the field of psychology. But the studies are still on, the research is still on. So there you go. Yeah. So the word intuition is connected to the soul. So a lot of times when we remember that word desire or wish, okay, I'm going to put it in the middle. It's always in the middle. It's always our goal, desire or wish, right? Or again, if the word miracle works more for you, you can also connect to that word, right? But sometimes we connect to the word desire and it connects us right away to our intuition. Then, you work through the soul first. The soul is your main connecting component to what's happening to you, to the way you live life, to the way you view life, right? For most people who are this, who are connected through the soul, they're religious people. So for them, the word God will be the main component. But some people, they're not as open to the word God for whatever personal, individual experience they had with that word, maybe a negative religious experience, so they will use the word universe. But that's what it is, okay? Connection to the universe at large. Seeing the world not just as one step or step two or step three or a series of steps, but seeing the world, looking at what's happening in your life as a connection to something bigger. Higher power, we call it, right? Higher power, right? This is what we connect. In the neurographic, this is what we connect to when we draw the field lines, okay? The connection to the higher power. And that's an interesting part, okay? So this is an interesting quadrant to consider. I'm offering it to you for you guys. If that quadrant speaks to you, then maybe that's how you see the world, this specific, with a certain goal, that's how you approach the world, okay? Now, we have something we call, this is called the business analysis quadrant, okay? And this is based on called Kreitman. Okay, don't confuse it with the Kropman triangle, which is a psychological phenomenon. Also, I'm going to say the word phenomenon now, a psychological approach to any issue in a psychological way to approach issues in people's life. This is a different one. There's a Kropman triangle. I'm not going to bring that in now. That's not relevant. But this is called the business analysis quadrant. And it's based on somebody named Kreitman. Not going to tell you, I'm not going to pretend I know this person. I really don't. I have nothing to do. Business world to me is like Chinese language. No offense to anybody who's Chinese, just something I don't know, okay? It's just very foreign to me. I don't understand anything. Cannot connect to it. It's different for me, right? I'm not going to say like Latin language more or less is connected because I know English, right? Because then I have a lot of Spanish speaking friends. But any Asian language to me is completely remote. Okay. So I don't know who this person is. It might be somebody who is Russian based because again, this quadrant is developed by Pavel Piskaryov. So he may be based, the last name sounds very Russian, but maybe not. Okay. And the idea is here, okay? Even if you don't know who this person is, it doesn't matter. Just pay attention to the wonderful, the content of this quadrant. The first step is comfort. Okay, comfort is the way we start anything. We start, we reach a certain set of comfort. We reach a certain level within our comfort world. Okay. Give me a second, please. Okay. And then at a certain point, we are very, 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 very comfortable. We're comfortable to the point where we are a bit uncomfortable with the amount of comfort that we have. Okay. So we are kind of looking for a way to kind of, we get bored, you know, we kind of get bored. Okay, so we're looking for a level of discomfort. We're looking for something that will make us discomfortable, because that will bring us to the next quadrant. The next quadrant is the problem itself. The problem is what will allow us to reach the level of discomfort. And that's a good thing. Okay, trust me. Progress in life, anything we achieve, anything, and by we, I mean the humanity in general, anything the humanity has achieved in this world is by going from the world of comfort, too much comfort, right, to becoming discomfortable at a certain moment, looking for a problem, or, right, you know how most of us don't look for problems. What do we say? We say problem finds me. Okay, I'm not looking for a problem. We say, but for some reason, problem keeps finding me. I don't know why. And that's because you're this kind of person. You're not into too much comfort. You value, you know, adventure. You value quest, going on quest. You value new things in life. Okay. And then once you have a problem, what do you do? Remember what we talked about for the past few days? Whenever you have a problem, or as we like to call a challenge in life, right? Challenge, right? When we are discomfortable, that presents a challenge to us. What are we looking for? We're looking for solutions, okay? In this specific quadrant, the word solution is connected to the word resource. It's a coaching world, right? Resource. Did I say it correctly? Yeah. Resource, okay? Comfort leads to, I'm not sure I'm discomfort. I'm getting tired of being comfortable. A problem comes into our life, which will kind of promote us, kind of push us towards seeing a resource, because a resource is connected to a solution. And that resource and the solution will bring us to something we call the goal. Okay, what is your goal? The goal, all of us, honestly, what we are seeking the whole lifetime is comfort, right? So it's always like this kind of circle. But remember, this will be comfort 2.0. Okay. 2.0 is what we're looking for, a different type of comfort. It will never be the same comfort, right? You always go through this circle, through this cycle, and the new type of comfort that you have is never the same comfort. It's a new level. And remember in the NeuroGraphic model, how we have the 8 steps. Step number 1 is what? Topic 1.0. Step number 2 is always topic 2.0. It's never the same topic. It's topic that has been revised because you have been changed as a result of the drawing. Same thing here. Whenever you go through the cycle in life, this is a life cycle, okay, guys? All the scenarios we discuss here are practical hands-on scenarios, okay? This is something we, you know, we undergo as a part of life. Okay. Actual comfort 2.0 should really be here. It's here, comfort 2.0, because then you start a new cycle. Okay. That's an interesting one. That's a very analytical approach, right? What's the problem? What is the resource? What is the solution? And have I reached my goal? You always ask yourself, have I reached my goal? And am I looking for more resources, right? Those of you in the specialist course, this quadrant very much applies to the truth algorithm, to the score algorithm, right? You constantly ask yourself, do I have enough resources to reach my goal? And the whole idea, both of the algorithms are about, do we need to add more resources? So you add one resource and you add another resource and you add another resource, and then more and more. And then at one point you say, you know what? I'm good. I am ready to reach my goal. Okay, and that's the idea. What else do we have? We have the next quadrant is a quadrant we already spoke about. Okay, this is the one we did a week or 2 weeks, I think, ago, right? When I talked to you about the neurographic alphabet, right? And this is the neurographic elements, the alphabet, neurographic elements, okay? Alphabet or elements. Okay, and it's about the circle, right? 3, and this elements are the stages how we can reach our goal. You utilize the element of a circle to bring yourself harmony and comfort, right? Because circle is about harmony and comfort. The next step. Notice, by the way, how similar it is to what we just did previously, right? Circle is about what? Comfort, okay? The previous quadrant was, the first quadrant was comfort. The next step we have is a triangle, and that's what? What does that represent? That represents a problem. Remember I said, whenever you reach a certain level of comfort, problem will come. And then once you have a problem, what are you going to seek for? You're going to look for resources, and that represented in the square. Square is when you are looking to reach, to kind of accomplish a certain amount of resources, like gather, right? It also refers to the financial stability. Gathering resources, and by resources here, we of course mean money or any other type of resources. By the way, is not just money. Resources is closing. For some people, important resources are closing, right? People who work in the corporate world, or people who work, influencers, right? Celebrities, for them, closing. I mean, all of us, closing is important. For some people, it's much more important than the others, right? Brand closing, wearing brand is important for some people more than the other, right? So square is about what? Amassed kind of wealth, I would say. But again, the word wealth, not just money, okay? Gathering certain ideas, gathering resources, okay? And those resources, like I said, not just ideas like comfort and love, which would be here, right? Acceptance, right? Acceptance goes in top, actually, of course. But also remember what's here, accomplishments, right? That's an important resource. When we don't have enough of the accomplishment resources, what do we have? We have the imposter syndrome, okay? But when we gather enough resources in this case actually refers to objects, actual physical, touchable items, clothing, cars. For some people, cars, right? We know celebrities, they like to collect cars. Money, of course. What else? Nowadays, money is not just, money in all types of, all understanding. It's not just, it's Bitcoins, it's, I don't know what else. It's actual money, different currencies, right? What else would be? Shelter, where you live, which is what? Prestige. Okay, I recently had an interesting session. At least once a month, I try to have a session with a colleague of mine. We kind of work with each other where we try to help each other, because as great as it is to have self-coaching sessions, which I do almost every day, drawing neurographic and figuring things out, it's important to at least once a month, to go to somebody beyond yourself who will pose the questions that you will be afraid to ask yourself. And that's the point of a coaching session, okay? And she brought the word prestige, and she's like, what is it to you? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what it means to me. And throughout the whole session, I discovered that the word prestige, I didn't acknowledge it, but it was an important value in my goal, toward reaching my goal. Okay, so the word prestige sounds like an idea, right? But what does it mean to you? So like I said, from some people, it's cars, money. I'm going to say your demographic location, right? Where do you live? Or do you live in the city? Do you live in town? Do you live in a, rural area? Or do you live in a more of a, kind of business, person where there are a lot of people, where there are a lot of celebrities, like New York City or like Los Angeles, okay? Like Miami Beach, right? It's more. Or do you live in a rural? How do you connect to your clients, to the way you collect? So resources would also mean, where you live, okay? Live, okay? Living conditions is an important resource. What are your comfort resources within your living conditions? Okay, what else? What else do you are you connected to within resources? Who are your friends, right? Guys, if you take the whole Dilt's pyramid and you go by it, answering every question will reveal all of your resources. Who are your friends? Who do you socialize with? Okay. Do you socialize with Elon Musk? Then you're on a different level. Or do you socialize with, I don't know, think of any other celebrity. I don't know. I saw Elon Musk on YouTube today when I opened it up at one point. So that came to my mind. Okay. Do you socialize with artists? Do you socialize with actors? Do you socialize with singers? Do you socialize with psychologists and coaches? Okay. What is your surrounding, or something we refer to as environment? That's very important. Environment is very important. Who and what are in your environment is how you know what your resources are, and that will connect you to creating your life. Square represents your life right now, right here. Not what it was before in the past, not what it can be in the future, right here, right now, reality. Where are you now? And by reality, we don't mean in general the idea of reality, which we talked about when we talked about the body, but the idea of reality right here, right now. Who are your friends? If you need something, who are you going to call for resources, for, support? Support, okay? And by support, again, the word support can be a general idea, but when I talk about support, I'm asking you specifically to look for support. Who are you going to call? Are you calling your parents? Are you calling your family members? Are you calling your friend? Are you calling a business colleague, a professional colleague? Who are you calling? Are you calling your children? What is your support system? Here, right now, in reality, is here, right now, okay? And even when I talk about money, here, right now, how much money do you have? On you, on hand, cash, in the bank, I don't know, Bitcoins or whatever electronic, artificial intelligence money, right? Let's call it, right? And that's what it is. What are you doing right here, right now? Okay, that's a question. And the last step is, of course, the neural line, okay? Neural line refers to the idea that life is fluid. You can be at any moment in your life, you can feel like you need harmony and comfort. At any moment in your life, you can feel like you need growth. You need to create a problem, or you need to accept a problem. Remember what we do with problems. We like to sweep them under the rug at a certain time in life because we don't have enough resources to deal with it. Okay? Or are you ready to deal with life? Are you ready to grow in life? The actual growth happen here. You take steps, you do step by step, you go up, you conquer a certain set of stairs. That's here, right here in the number of squares. Square is about dealing with life right here, right now. But square will only agree when you have enough circles in life, okay? When you have enough harmony and comfort and care and love and everything that's represented by circle. And when you have enough problems, you're not going to need resources in life if there's no problem. What do you need resources if there's no problem in your life? You need a certain amount of problem, a certain amount of discomfort. Remember, problem represents discomfort. Okay. And by the way, discomfort is something we invite in our life. Okay. You may say, problem keeps finding me, but no, you invite it in your life. But you're not always happy being too comfortable, right? Too cuddled. Nobody likes to be too cuddled. Okay. Unless you're a baby. Babies love that. So neural line is about is about wisdom, the idea of wisdom, the idea of fluidity, the idea that we have different ways we are in life and the way we want to be in life. It's about the fact that sometimes we seek, and that can happen simultaneously. 1 second in life, we're looking for care and comfort, right? Those of you who drew the neurographic drawing, you know this happens when you draw at one point, and that's why we do the reflection process, right? That's why I ask you, what do you feel? What is your thought? What is your body sensation? What is your emotion at this moment? And you notice the fleeting, you become aware. It's learning this part, it's learning to become aware of various moments in your life. And you start understanding that those moments in life are fleeting, right? This shall pass too, right? It's considered to be a biblical phrase, right? It's a religious phrase, but no, it's actually a philosophical phrase nowadays, right? So one of the philosophers adopted it. This shall pass too. Originally, it came from like the ethics of the fathers, right? It's a part of the Bible, part of the Torah, the Old Testament, right? And that's the idea. This shall pass too. Over here, the whole view on life is that, sometimes we have hardships, but this shall pass too, because I'm going to acquire resources connecting to the circle and the square. Accumulate resources, and this shall pass too. I will get out of it. I will get to the better future. Somewhere between here and here, there's an idea of a better future, okay? In religion, this idea is known as who can guess? Messiah. The idea of a Messiah is this eternal hope, eternal belief in the better future. All the wars we have now, all the hardships, all the misfortunes, the only thing that's holding us, right? What makes us an optimist is the idea of the better future. And all religions are based on it. The idea of a better future. It's hard now. Let's connect to each other. Let's gather resources. And by the way, this is the part also where we connect to each other. This is a social connection. Because over here, we gather resources one by one. Circle is about what I need for myself, my individual need. Because that's how children act. They tell mommy, give me. Yes, of course, they give back love and emotional, competence for the mother, but really, they don't physically give anything back to the mother except hugs, right? But they take. The idea of being a child is taking. Over here is learning to give, okay? Those of you who do the Ikigai, right? In the specialist course, we have an amazing algorithm called the Ikigai. I'm inviting everybody to join the amazing specialist course. Coming January, I'm raising prices because guess what? We're adding more. We're adding 4 more algorithms to the course. So there. And the idea here is that connecting to each other to gather resources on a social level. It's not just about care and comfort for myself, but let me share care and comfort with you. This idea, right? Nowadays, the winter season, the holiday season is about what? Light. Spreading the light. And the idea of the light, the philosophy of any light is that when you, in the darkness, when you turn on the light, what does the light do? It kind of disperses the darkness. And then when you share the light with others, what happens? There is more light. And that's the idea. The resources in this case is about sharing your care and comfort and love with others. And when you share with others, you multiply it for yourself and for others. And that's about social responsibility, social connection. And that will surely what will bring the better future. The idea of Messiah is connected in many various religious, whatever, I'm not going into that now, right? That's not the place. But that's the idea. Better future. All of those science fiction stories like what's the name of it? The one with I forgot. I didn't read it. My daughter read it. All those futuristic stories, sci-fi fictions, they're all based on utopian society. What is a utopian society? A society that thinks that the better future has happened already now, right here, right now. But they are mistaken because they didn't reach that. They think they live in a better future world, but they're not. One of my favorite books, The Giver, is like that, right? If you read The Giver, at one point I spoke a lot about it. I made a few sessions talking about it, connecting it to this philosophy of who we are now. But if you never read the book, amazing book, highly recommend. And it's about the utopian society that they thought that's it. They reached the height. They are it. They're the best community, the best society ever. And then at the end, we discover they perform. Okay, I'm going to say a spoiler, but you probably know that. They murder people to reach, right? Not getting political here, but the idea is the same. It's a philosophical approach where I want to reach the better future right here, right now. No, it takes time. And it's about social connection. It's about social responsibility. If you haven't connected to others enough, you cannot reach the better future. And it's about connecting all 4. All these 3 steps must come first before we reach the 4th. All of this are an important prerequisite for this, okay? I've been talking for about an hour now. I'm going to finish, okay? I hope you had a good time connecting to me, connecting to this idea of how do we reach our desires, our goals on a philosophical approach, on a logical approach, this psychological, I would say, even approach, right? How do we do that? How do we understand more of what the miracle, involves? And that's what I did kind of today for you guys today. I hope it helped a bit or a lot. Today's Thursday. I will actually be able to see you next Monday. Okay, I will make sure that I will be ready on Monday. Because of the holiday next week, we're going to meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay? Thursday's a holiday for most people, and we're going to honor that. We're going to allow people to spend time with themselves, with their families. Okay? Thank you for joining me today. Any questions? If you're looking to buy any courses, whether it's certified neurographic courses like the basic user or the specialist, or any of the certified courses, the composition or the color or the sketching, welcome to visit my website, neurographicUSA.com. You can also try my name, lanashalom.com. You can also purchase fusion courses like the Neuro Miracles course or the Butterfly Effect course, okay? I'm going to come to you next week, maybe even Monday. I'll talk more about the Butterfly Effect course for you guys to understand. The Butterfly Effect course is an algorithm to reach your wish, okay? Oh, so nice to hear. Thank you. Thank you, Healing Arts and Yoga. I love the name, okay? Yeah, that's what it is, right? It's an amazing course. I'm going to tell you more about the course, what the course, let's do this. Let's have a little intro course, okay? Prepare your markers, prepare your paper, and prepare a wish, a desire that you have that you can use. And we'll do an intro into the Neuro Butterfly course on Monday, okay? Let's draw before the holidays. Everybody's having most people having a holiday season. Hanukkah starts on Thursday night, and I know Christmas Eve is on Wednesday night, right? So it's a holiday season. Let's embrace it. Let's start drawing our wishes and desire. Oh, Vicky, okay. Vicky Lynn, okay. Thank you for telling me. Now I know who you are. Glad to see you here, dear. Okay. Wishing you a beautiful day or night ahead. Those of you in Europe and different time zones, you have a nighttime. So wishing you a beautiful day and night ahead. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday. Have an enjoyable weekend. Okay, everyone. Goodbye.